everyone, this is Deirdre, and I'm coming to you live on Facebook this morning. I have invited my dear friend Vima Lamura to come and join us today, and I'm hoping that she is able to join me here in a moment. We are planning to have a interview about her upcoming events in Hawaii, as well as explain to all of you people who are live that that we will definitely have lots of stuff going on. So I'm going to just bring her on right now and see how this all goes. Sometimes technology and I have some issues, and being that we have great distance between Canada and Hawaii, that we may have a bit of a time for a bit of a glitch. But there we are.
Good
Aloha.
morning. Good
I'm
morning.
so glad that you're able to come on.
Me too.
So I know that you have lots of stuff that is really important to share with everyone. And so what I would really like to start off this interview with is asking you the deep question of what is alchemy? What do you mean by alchemy to love? And how does meditation serve in that whole process?
We commonly know alchemy as a transformation of metals. They used to apply that term when they would take base metals and convert it to gold.
Right.
Okay. So when there is a perception that everything is energy and everything in form is birthed from consciousness, we have the capacity to access consciousness, to transform form. So this is what I mean by alchemy. And when one has a consistent practice of meditation, and believe me, I've been told by my Gurudev, by teachers, everyone, meditate, meditate. And I understood the value of it because of my experiences prior to that.
Right.
But afterwards, I started seeing that it was a cosmic act of physics. Okay, it was accessing the refined realms of awareness, of vibration, beyond thought and beliefs, beyond conditioning.
Okay.
So as I practiced more and more, I got to see that pieces of those states or vibratory interferences started to whittle away bit by bit. I didn't have to think about what was happening. I didn't have to think about what causes this and what causes that and the origin, this life, past life, whatever. That's so irrelevant because everything is right here and now, the past and present, in that realm of consciousness, in that realm of emptiness and awareness. So when there's a certain degree of concentration,
right,
and consistency, alchemy happens. It happens in the body, it happens in the mind. It also happens in our behavior. So when looking at even our behavior, our emotional, mental states also have a vibrational frequency. It has a vibration. It has frequencies that may be dense, that may be hot, that may be fast, that may be slow.
Yes.
So if we look at it from that perspective, we can start seeing that what the content or engaging the mind in defining what is going on is it really irrelevant. What you're really experiencing is the vibration of thought, of behavior. And as you go deeper and deeper and clear every single layer, what happens is you start to see the seed of light, so to speak. It's something that is that you can't really define.
I was just going to say that. How would you define that? Is that your inner knower, I guess, would be how you would tune in, or
I feel that you just have to go there to find out. I think, and for me, to whatever capacity that I am able to share through experiences, and always through the grace of my Guru Dev, always through the grace of teachers that I've had, and the opportunity to immerse in these environments to sort of pick up the essence of truth that just lives in the waves of the biome of that environment. It's like coming to an understanding and being able to articulate it, but bring people through the experience. Because articulation, it's like eating ice cream. I
right?
could read the ingredients from here to high heaven. And I could read all the ingredients, what ice cream consists of, and everybody could sit there and shake their head. Yeah, yeah. But when it comes time to eat the ice cream, the experience is integrated. And to ask how it is, people will say cold or creamy, but the effect that it has on the inside. And also, to look at some of these practices and these things, especially with sound and the resonance that it has with activating the heart. So, talking about alchemy, it's all about transformation.
Or and that would touch on then the meditation, because if you're in a place of peace, or if you're in a place of being present, then that also builds upon the alchemy of the
Mm.
situation. Is that correct?
The alchemy happens to be able to get there.
Ah,
Mm?
I see.
It's that process of getting to that place of peace and presence. We've got a page called Come in Unity, the kindness page.
On Facebook, yes.
And, right. And in kindness, there is an alchemy that happens. In forgiveness, there is an alchemy. We have to think, we have to process in order to surpass any judgments or thoughts we have about a person or a situation, or even questioning our own behavior.
Right, right.
I remember I was in Czech Republic, and there was a young lady who was who was translating for me, and I bought a few loaves of bread, and there was a man that was more or less going through the trash, and he looked like he was homeless. And I asked this young lady, I said, please give him a loaf of bread. And she said, why? He didn't earn it. I said,
Oh.
but well, this is how a lot of people think. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I said, just give him a loaf of bread. Maybe give him two. Give him mine, because I'm not much of a bread eater, but just give him mine. Just go and give it to her. Why don't you do it? And I said, because you need to do this. And she literally gave me all of the reasons why, but I realized there was a vulnerability in her. And it just took a little time to kind of cultivate her thinking into just letting go.
Right.
Because when people go through a lot in countries like that, they have a tendency to hang on. They have a tendency, everything is of value, right down to a drop of water, really.
Yes. And
So,
it's a preconception that we would carry forth probably
mm,
from, family and childhood and
mhm.
society and things like that.
Well, yeah, and with the political environment that she was born into. She
Yes.
gave the man the bread. She walked over very reluctantly and gave the man a piece of bread, and he hugged her.
Oh,
It was beautiful to see. And she just stood there in tears. And she realized when she came back, well, she was a little upset. She said, I'm so selfish. I'm so this. And I said, no, no. You just realized this little act was a transformation for you. You see how beautiful it is to give.
and that's the alchemy of it all.
That's the alchemy of it all. So there is a process. Some people have to go through a process of thinking, or, in forgiving. Now, forgiving is a very vast. There are many circumstances, situations where uh, we have to forgive, or people need to forgive, whatever it may be. But when you realize the vibrational effect that it has on you inside, that just kind of unplugging from that,
Right.
from the density of attachment, of what owns you, when you realize what is owning you.
Yes. Yes.
So it's really quite beautiful to see people change in the midst of their vulnerability and the capacity to be able to feel more, more from the heart, more from that seed of light in the heart. Some people call it Christ consciousness, or some people call it the light, but that's it. It doesn't matter. Christ consciousness is consciousness. Period.
Right.
It's like,
Yes.
call it Christ, call it Mary, call it window consciousness. It doesn't matter. It's
It's
been
from within.
there. Yeah, it's from within. It's been there. It's always been there. And when we look at some of these teachings, we look at the teachings that he had from his mother and his
Right.
grandmother, and we see all it is teaching people the alchemy, the process of transformation, and accessing their capacity of realizing they can do it rather than running on automatic.
And this is the reason that I felt that this was so important for us to discuss today, is because of the work that you do. And you do a lot of work with individuals, using sound as medicine and sound as helping them move forward and to heal, and the alchemy of all of that. Now, coming up for you in Hawaii, um, is a retreat that you're doing, soul, this mandalas of the soul retreat. And I just wanted to touch base on the process of this Sound Mandalas of the Soul retreat that is going to allow individuals to tap into that inner knower and tap into the alchemy to help them to move forward?
Well, the retreat is a platform to facilitate a whole nother dimension of healing, of transforming wave particles, and also open opportunities for them to experience what is really going on and to have a little bit more mastery, not only of the gross, when I say gross, I mean the more dense thought forms, awareness of patterns, transgenerational patterns, physical complications, but also to be aware of what prompts them and be able to use their capacity to change their perception of what's going on and to understand it as energy, and then use sound as a means, as the heat in the alchemical process
Ah,
to,
yes.
yeah, that's the best way I can describe it, because sound is vibration. Sound affects the nervous system and the brain. So when
The,
we do singing or chanting or even mantra, when people are given a mantra, when they are doing their meditation from their teacher, a mantra is simply a syllabistic pattern that breaks up thought forms,
right.
that breaks up the wave pattern of thought, so that the capacity to concentrate is so much better. And when
Ah,
you concentrate and that equanimity moves through you, then it opens up a portal to another realm. It's really beautiful. It's really amazing. So to bring this work and understanding um, in an experiential environment,
yes.
that, and that in and of itself will facilitate them to being open to their own mastery, not fearing it, because a lot of that happens, but
Yes.
also the incredible power of the voice, their voice, whether they're singing or chanting, how that facilitates in changing the wave patterns, changing the flow of life force through the nadis, through the body, through the mind. It's just, it's just amazing. A lot of these ancient teachings involve chanting. Like my Guru Dev, he always has chanting sessions, and there's chanting and mantra, and it's very beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. But the purpose is to bring people into this place of focus and calm using their voice.
Using their
So we have all the sound healing modalities out now. Um, Back in the day, 40 years ago, 40 some years ago, it wasn't as popular nor understood in as it is now, or
right.
experienced as it is now, because the subtlety of it, the subtlety of your word, the subtlety of the intent, the connection between the heart and the voice and universal intelligence, and the capacity to change form, to
I
be able
think
to change. Yeah.
I think that is an excellent explanation of what the alchemy to love represents,
Mm.
in that being able to take um, the thoughts, the sensations, the um, the body, mind, and spirit, and holding it in the place of love and compassion to really develop and grow within yourself. And
It's
I, I
Yeah.
believe myself that when we take that moment to look within, it's what radiates out after that magnifies for the whole world. So when you take care of yourself or fill your cup first, as one of my teachers says, that then you're able to share to the world, and that would be in alchemy, that place of love and compassion.
Yeah. And again, love and compassion to me are very refined states of consciousness and refined frequency. So to access that on an experiential level, meditate. To me, meditation is not it's not spiritual. When we look at spiritual, we're just looking at very, very subtle. What is spirit? You know, really, when you really look at it, to me, meditation is practical. It's as practical as a cup of coffee in the morning. It is. It is because we have these vehicles, and there's a lot of systems operating. I call it the holographic somatic being,
Right.
and we have all these systems operating. And the so-called spiritual, the life force, the subtlety of frequency that moves through it in the, and creates through it, and to become conscious of what we're creating with every word, with every thought. It's such an amazing journey, such an
Yes.
amazing journey. So compassion is one of those, compassion, humility, love, empathy. Who can really define it? Compassion is this, love is that. But when you bring the poetry of it, that really touches the experience of your knowing,
Right.
then you get the experience of it. You get
So,
the experience of that seed self, or as you call your knowing, so to speak. Yeah.
yes. Well, I think that this has been wonderful, Vima, to take some
Thank
time
you.
this morning and to just explain a little bit about what alchemy to love is in the sense
Mm.
of where we are going here. And I just want to let the viewers know that you have been teaching retreats and sound meditations for many years, and that if any of the people that are watching this today, and of course share please, and um, let others know that Vima Lamura will be hosting this April Sound Mandalas of the Soul retreat in Hawaii, and you can find information on her website, vimalamura.com. And we would love any questions. Please post them here on the link after our show is done, and we will get back to you. And thank you, Vima, very much for this
Mm.
interview today.
Thank you, Deirdre. It's a
Yeah.
delight always, always to see you, and it's absolutely delightful to work with you as well. Mahalo.
Okay. Maloha.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Aloha.
Bye bye. And thank
Aloha.
you, everyone, for tuning in. And we look forward to having more of these interviews with Vima over the next few weeks. So please do watch and tune in and share. Thanks again.